Welcome to the Real Results Podcast, I guess.
Welcome to you. Welcome to my set.
Yeah.
That you designed.
Yeah.
Along with a few other folks.
Right.
I'm making you an old fashioned, by the way.
Beautiful. So yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know, this is the first time, Brian, I've ever had a podcast on a set that
isn't yours.
Yeah, isn't mine. So this is really interesting, but you're Brian Grosso.
I am.
You're the Buddha Bartender.
I am.
And we had a call, 2 months ago about this idea that we're doing right now.
It was no longer ago. You're absolutely right.
And now we're here live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the call was, I think you just wanted to come to my studio, produce a podcast, talk about, Buddhism. And I was, and you mentioned to me, you're like, let's put a bar background noise and just have a podcast. I'm like,
that's exactly right, actually.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much Buddhism, maybe philosophy and spirituality at large, but everything else, you're jogging my memory. Yeah. And I thought this was going to be a solo podcast that you just post-produce some bar noise in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said, Brian, why don't you go to an actual bar and shoot this?
Yeah.
I was like, it's up to you, what you want to do, but I think it would be better. Imagine you at a bar, mixing drinks like you are right now.
Yeah.
And making drinks for celebrities while talking to them.
Yeah.
And you said...
That's a long game. I'm still in love with it, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I thought it was, a great idea, and here we are, man. So the Buddha Bartender is live and in action.
And born. You're absolutely right. By the way, I'm going to keep talking about that, but before I do, I'm letting you know what I'm going to do is I've put about a quarter of an orange.
Okay.
Some maple syrup, I love these bitters, black walnut bitters.
Oh, I've never had that.
So good. And they're a touch sweet, so it'll accent the maple syrup well. We're using bullet bourbon. I'm gonna mix that around a little bit, and I'm gonna strain it into the smoker. We're gonna put some smoke in that bottle. So we're gonna mix everything first. You don't always do it that way, but sometimes with more delicate whiskeys like Japanese, it's a little bit, the notes are fragile, sensitive. You put smoke into them, it kind of distorts the flavor of the whiskey. Bullet is strong though. This bullet bourbon is strong bourbon. So what we're gonna do is mix all the flavors together. The orange, the maple syrup, the whiskey itself, the black walnut bitters. Give it a little stir in here. Combine kind of all of it together. And now I'm gonna let that rest while I get the smoke into the bottle, and we're gonna smoke this entire concoction, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Yeah, with some whiskeys it's too fragile, but Bullet's strong. I love Bullet for that reason.
You know what's crazy? I haven't had a drink in 2 months now.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of feel honored that you're gonna use this drink as the first drink you've had. Better be good.
I had your drink about a month ago that you made, but it was a mocktail.
It was.
So it didn't count all the way.
I was gonna say, does that count?
Yeah, man, I've just been locked in. I haven't even gone out, drank, or anything, so I'm excited. I feel like this is the perfect...
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for us.
Look at that.
By the way, I'm smoking with cherry wood. I like cherry wood. It's the aroma's high.
Question about that. Do you use different smoke flavors for different drinks when you bartend?
Yeah. Okay. But it's there's a lot of in bartending there's a lot of usual patterns. So cherry works well with bourbons. That's a fact. But what I think is more important is a mixologist experimenting, honestly. Yeah. I think not everyone loves their drinks the same way, right? But for me, the experimentation matters most. So cherry's my go-to for almost everything. I even smoke red wines. Really? Which is really not a typical thing, but cherry wood with a good Cabernet just works.
Nice.
You don't smoke it for long, you don't smoke it heavy. But you can use that as either a glass of wine or even as a topper, right? So we're gonna put all of this now into this smoke. Get the chamber nice and full.
Try not to spill it everywhere.
Oh no, listen, bartending's a dirty game. You spill it everywhere nonstop. So now we got the orange, the black walnut bitters, the maple syrup, and the bourbon. It smells
so good.
It's all smoking together. And I've mentioned this a few times. I'm not big on chilling whiskeys for old fashions.
Yeah.
But I will put one ice cube in there for you and let all the smoke perfume out with that. I love that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Okay, now before I give it over to you, let me just do one last thing. First, I'm going to test it myself. People ask me a lot, yeah, that's good. How do you know if the bartender's good? My answer is always the same. Does the drink taste good? If it tastes good, there you go. He or she is a good bartender.
I have a question for you in a second.
Yeah.
I want to know. Well, let's taste this first, because I can't wait.
Well, you know what? What I just did there is the second tip off. Every bartender must taste their own drinks.
Wait, so you're actually flaming that?
Yeah.
Orange slice?
Bring out the oils. It's like, it sounds like a stupid comparison. Think about tasting bread.
Yeah.
Now think about tasting toast.
Oh.
Tastes different, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah.
So whenever you add heat to anything, you change everything about the aroma, the taste structure, even how it mixes in with other things. So give that orange peel a good torch, lay it in. There you go, sir.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. 8 weeks, that better be good.
Oh my.
You like it?
I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
Thank you.
That is phenomenal.
Okay, can I ask you, what's the first flavor you get? It should be something that I'm thinking.
It's like it's more of like cherry.
Yep.
That I get.
You get the smoke first.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's why you smoke drinks.
I feel like a lot of drinks, the taste comes from the smell. You know what I'm saying? Because it hits you first.
Absolutely.
Almost.
Aroma matters a lot. It matters a lot more than people realize. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and then I get the sweetness from the orange and the bitters afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the order it should go: smoke first, the orange, a little bit of maple syrup next, bourbon comes at the end. Exactly the way you want it.
So you're on my podcast now, which feels weird. We've been filming you all day.
Right.
Why don't you talk a little bit about your background? Like, what is the Buddha Bartender?
Yeah.
Are you a bartender? Are you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is the Buddha Bartender?
All those things. I think sometimes you reach a part or point in life where what matters most is alignment, right? So I would qualify that my biggest passions in life are mixology and hospitality. I love those industries. I've been bartending for a long time. You hear me talk about flavor and profile and what flavor hits first, what comes last. Yeah. That's just a passion for me, right? But I apply it professionally. I work as a bartender. But my career has been largely based in counseling and teaching, specifically properties of spirituality and philosophy. My doctorate's in pastoral counseling. Most of the work I do comes from that angle. I bring Taoism, Buddhism, elements of Christianity, Hinduism, the Bhagavad Gita into the counseling practice that I have. And I found it to be very successful.
Yeah.
I think it helps people understand life at a different level. It helps them understand themselves at a more finite level. And so the Buddha Bartender is a combination of the two.
And which one were you first, a bartender or a counselor?
Great question. I guess I was a bartender first. Yeah.
But you know what? A bartender is almost like a counselor.
It's a non-tipped psychologist.
Yeah.
That's the joke we always
Like
say.
I've had so many bartenders that I've had phenomenal, like life-changing conversations with, you know?
Yeah, it's funny. A mixologist understands drinks. A bartender understands people.
Yeah.
So my goal, my aspiration is to be the best of both.
And you know what? As a bartender, I'm sure you see all different types of
course.
people too.
Yeah, of course.
You know? And go ahead.
I was going to say, it's trendy to not drink alcohol anymore. And I appreciate, I don't judge anybody for anything. I don't drink a lot, to be honest. But first of all, I think if you're using good ingredients and you're managing them well, you create something that's decadent and it's worth having one of, right? That's different than having 7 of, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing that I think is a reasonable thing to consider, and why do bartenders get life-changing conversations with people, is because alcohol lowers our inhibitions.
Yeah.
We speak more freely.
Yeah.
We feel more freely.
Yeah.
And sometimes in a contained way, that's a great thing.
And your truth comes out almost.
It's truth serum.
And in the counseling session, I feel like it's way different than having just like a real conversation with someone and then getting the alcohol, like the alcohol almost brings the truth out and you just get really deep. Like, so it almost fits into your whole brand and your whole philosophy.
It does.
Because, look, I end up in like the deepest conversations when I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I think it's just because of your nature and your past of probably having all those conversations and knowing how to get there with other people.
Sure.
And you're also just like this person who just feels inviting to talk to.
I appreciate that. And part of it is trauma. We've all experienced it one level or another.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you asked me to expand, to be honest, because like what differentiates perhaps a psychologist or a counselor from a bartender, right?
Yeah.
I can explain that in a metaphor. Okay, so I'll use you as an example, Levi. You're in a hole. You just want to get out of the hole.
Yeah.
Whatever your hole is. Okay, so you're a little bit frustrated. Then you become panicky. Now you're afraid. Am I in this hole forever? So you look up. There's a big opening, and you can see the blue skies. You can see people walking by, but you're still stuck in this hole. So you start to call out, hey, I see you walking by. Can you help me out of this hole? Well, a psychologist might walk by and say, yeah, tell me all your problems. And so you do. Like, I'm afraid of this hole. This is horrifying to me, or this is scary for me. And the psychologist will tell you what your problem is by, diagnosing you with something, but then kind of just walk on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, you're demoralized now. Now you feel like there's something wrong with you permanently or perennially, but you have hope. So you look up again, and you see somebody else walking by in the hole, and you call out for help again, but this time as a bartender. I'm in this hole, and I'm paralyzed, and I'm petrified. Like, can you help me out of this hole? Well, the bartender jumps in the hole. And at first, you're like, what the hell, idiot? Now we're both stuck in this hole, but the bartender says, yeah, but I've been here before. I know the way out.
So he knows the
Let's
way
just
out.
walk together.
Yeah.
And that to me is the paralyzing problem with so much of the mental health industry.
Yeah.
You're taught as a counselor never to reveal parts of yourself to the people you work with, which to me is ridiculous because I'm asking you to share yourself with me, but you won't ever know anything about me.
Yeah.
We've all had trauma.
Right.
Big, small, it's all trauma. To the nervous system, it's all trauma.
Yeah.
And if we start talking about whose trauma is worse, like it's getting into a pissing contest with a prick. Like there's no, your trauma is your trauma, mine is mine. Like it's not better or worse, it just is.
Yeah.
So I think for me, what I've always done as a counselor, what I do as a bartender is I relate to people. Like you say, I'm inviting to talk to, and I appreciate that, but there's no parts of me that are hidden.
Yeah, I mean, how important do you think that is to talk about your trauma? Because I feel like, especially, as men, as a man, I feel like it's hard for me. You almost have this instinct not to give up so much of yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's not like, it's just like a primal instinct
as
a man, because you don't want to show weakness.
Yep.
You have this certain psychological instinct not to tell people your problems or what you've gone through. I've gone through a lot of trauma. I've told probably 2 people.
Yeah.
Like my mom and my dad. And that's about it outside of that. But I've gone through some horrific things that are just really hard for me to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I talked to a counselor about it. I started going to therapy 2 years ago, and it's really helped me.
Yeah.
It's really
Has
helped
it helped
me
just talking?
Yeah.
That's the undergird of it all. People often enter counseling or therapy looking for a solution, but the solution is talking it out.
Like think about how many people are out there that just haven't talked about the shit that they've gone through.
All of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Millions upon millions of people.
Man.
Yeah.
And it's I feel like it's a real problem.
It is a huge problem. And your point on men is very well heard, and I agree.
Yeah.
Look, our DNA is provide, protect. And there's, I have no problem going on record saying exactly this. The whole concept of toxic masculinity is complete and utter bullshit. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's weakness. Men who parade in that toxic way, they're weak.
Yeah.
They have been emasculated at some point in their lives. They've gone through traumas and they haven't recovered or healed from them.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing them. What I'm trying to explain is masculinity is beautiful. It's important. It's a required element of energy in our universe. Nothing toxic about it. Weakness is what becomes toxic.
And I want to know if you find this true to that point is, at least the people that I know, I've noticed that the people who talk about their weaknesses more are like the strongest, and the men in my friend group that are the most vulnerable are like the strongest people. Do you find that to be true as well?
1,000,000%. The delicate line is C versus C. So am I complaining or am I being cathartic?
Yeah.
Right? Catharsis is good. It's important. It cleanses the nervous system. It changes the integrity of neural tags that actually have a grip on us and oftentimes direct our behaviors and our actions and even our thought processes. Yeah. So catharsis is required. Complaining is just being a victim.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's part of that quote unquote toxic masculinity. It's weakness. Yeah. But it depends on the driver. Listen, like you're my boy. I want to tell you this so I can relieve myself of it. Right. That's strong. Yeah. But just being an incidental and then this happened and that's just weak. Straight up complaining, and that gets you nowhere ever.
Yeah, and same for women too. But
of course, yeah.
I want to talk about like the entrepreneurs that listen to this podcast because I have a lot, and I feel like it's the same thing as an entrepreneur. If you're a CEO or whatever, you almost want to feel. You don't want to show your vulnerabilities as much because you're the boss, you're the head, you're in charge, right? And so the more vulnerable you are, it almost feels like you're giving up something, and you look weak or whatever it is. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's better to, get to know your people and have them get to know you so you can work better cohesively. But I want to hear your opinions on that because you work with a lot of entrepreneurs. You work with NFL athletes who are leaders of teams. Yeah. You work with a lot of those types of people. So I'm just curious on your thoughts on showing vulnerability as a leader.
Yeah, I align to you in everything you said. It can go back to that C versus C. Am I complaining or being cathartic? Leaders who show vulnerability with the right driver, that's cathartic and it's beautiful. Leaders who constantly complain and are showing their scars because they want pity, it's a whole different animal. And the energetic profile of those two people is dramatically different and you experience it. You know what I mean? You feel it. But it's a roundabout way of answering your question, but I think it's important. I read a book one time, I even think we've talked about this. The book was very profound, so profound I can't remember the name of it, but the author made this point. He said that people don't ever remember the stats and the numbers, they remember the story. So a quality leader will tell his or her story, even to the people in their charge. Yeah. Because the story is emotive, it's relatable. So let me just ask this as a blanket question to everybody who's watching and listening right now. If you realize your leader is showing up hard every day and is going an extra mile and has a giving attitude, but then you find out the shit they're going through, but it's relatable to you, like you're going through similar shit, doesn't that inspire you to be bigger, to do more?
Yeah.
It does, right? The driver's right. Be vulnerable and strong in your leadership by being a relatable person that people they'll know your story. Yeah, when they know your story, it's powerful.
Be human.
Human.
Yeah. And I think setting examples so huge. It's the same thing if you have a kid. Bringing up a kid, you can't tell them what to do. Yeah. You can't tell a 6-year-old what to do, but setting an example, I feel like is something that I've learned from my dad. He's a CEO. He's also a great dad. Yeah. He taught me that lesson of like setting an example. He always set like great examples for me. Yeah. The reason I do what I do right now is because of him setting an example. He never told me to go on set with him. Yeah. He never told me you have to come out and help with this commercial. He did it, right? Showed me like what he did, his work. He's just proud of it. He wanted to show his son, and naturally I fell in love with it, right? Yeah. And that same thing is as a leader of a company, you setting that example of I'm working hard, I'm doing my purpose, I'm working towards this goal, and I'm very passionate about it. Naturally, everyone around you is going to feel passionate as well.
100% true.
If you're sleeping on the job, if you're slacking off, everyone around you is going to do the same thing. You know, it's all energy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but take that one step farther. If you're a leader who's prepared to be vulnerable and relatable about your pain and your challenges, you're encouraging your team to be the same. And the more cathartic we are in a very strongly held environment, the more efficient we become, the better workers we become, the better citizens we become, the better for each other we become. Yeah. People hold in too much. That's just a blanket truth.
Yeah.
We hold in too much, men and women.
Yeah, I mean, I held in a lot.
Yeah.
You know, growing up, like I was someone who held in stuff a lot. And it wasn't until I went to therapy actually that I started being vulnerable and talking about, you know, my vulnerabilities. And now I feel happier than ever.
Yeah.
You know, like I had, it's crazy, but I had like chest pains for a while.
Yep.
You know, and I could feel like, you know, pains and like my heart and my chest. And it was because I was holding in all this stress and I wasn't talking about what I was going through openly.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I stopped giving a
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And when I started that mindset, it's just suddenly the pain went away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's what that was. It was just
100%.
stress.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
If physical things can happen.
Yes.
People don't realize that.
Trauma is held in the body,
Yeah.
in the nervous system, and that creates tensions and pulls and, you know, energetic displacements that manifest physically.
Yeah.
Headaches, migraines, chest pain, low back pain. Our country, the world, is full of people who are looking for a physical diagnosis to an emotional problem.
Yeah.
Does that make
Or
sense?
a quick fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're looking, what's
absolutely.
wrong with my knee?
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with your knee. There's something wrong with your heart. And that's, I understand you've gone through some trauma. But we're very quick to want to relieve the physical pain we're in, and we're very quick to repress the emotional pain we're in.
Yeah. But that's so much about your philosophy, right?
Yeah.
Is like you could take that Advil and relieve the pain temporarily. You could, you know, put some ice on it or you know, lay down in the bed for a week. But the truth is like, you know, if you work hard, you know, so if you're instead of worrying about, you know, your muscle aching, whatever, instead of taking that Advil, like say, hey, okay, I'm gonna start working out. I'm gonna start using my muscals, you know? So those kind of disciplines really fit into what you talk about. They matter.
Yeah. Oh, they matter a lot. Yeah. Hey, look, I've seen high performance at the highest ends. Right? People I've worked with have won Olympic gold medals, and people I've worked with have signed $22 million annual contracts in varying sports. I've worked with, you know, massive CEOs of major corporate institutions. I've seen high performance at the highest ends, and what I can promise you is, even at that level, the bulk of the work I do is not helping them aspire to the next 1%. They already do. My job is to help turn the key of what's stopping them.
Yeah.
And that's almost always mental emotional.
So where do you want to take the Buddha Bartender? Where do you see the future?
Well, it's a short, medium, long range, right? Short term, I love the format of our podcast. I love what we do. I can't wait to roll it out and, you know, have episodes coming out every week. We're going to build this into a one-man stage show where we'll have a custom bar built, and it's like
I love that you're an actual bartender too.
Yeah, I think authenticity wanes if you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But look, I've spoken on stages all around the world, so I love speaking, I love performing. But imagine a TED Talk being given behind a bar while I'm actually mixing drinks and tailoring the story to the drink I'm mixing and why.
Yeah.
But it's all lessoneering that helps you eliminate the limits that are holding you back. You know what I mean? And then long range, look, my passions for mixology and hospitality are going to be intertwined with this brand. You know, we're going to open a high-end lounge, high-experience lounge.
Oh, yes.
You know?
I can't wait to go.
I can't wait to have you. Yeah.
So wait, I have one last question for you. As a bartender, do you have any like crazy bar stories? Like fights or threats or...
Yeah, most of my threat fight stories were when I was a bouncer, which predated me bartending. I started bouncing at nightclubs when I was 16.
Yeah, tell me your craziest story. I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely. Craziest story ever was, this is my favorite. So I used to work with a guy named Carl. And Carl was sergeant at arms for a motorcycle club, who I will not name because they're a well-known motorcycle club. And he was every bit what you think. Big, burly, scary looking as hell.
Just like you.
No, way worse than me. Way worse than me. So one night this guy was acting up in the bar, and Carl and I threw him out probably harder than we should have or needed to, but it is what it is. Sometimes a bouncer's job is to prevent future fights. Yeah. And sometimes the easiest way to do that is throw a guy out hard because everybody's watching you do that and they're thinking, I don't want any part of that. Smart, right?
Tactical.
Yeah, exactly, right? So threw him out harder than we needed to, and he did what everybody does. Yeah, I'm going to come back and then fuck you guys. Yeah, I've heard it.
Listen, a million times.
Get in line. There's like 40,000 people in front of you.
Yeah.
So whatever, it is what it is. I forgot about the guy by the time the night's over, right? Bar closes up. Every staff member's going out the front door. Carl's parked in the back, so me and Carl go out back, right? Which the back of this particular club was just one long alley in downtown Toronto. So he and I go out the back. Wouldn't you know it, the guy was there.
Wow.
The guy we threw out was there.
Wow.
Problem is, he had about 18 or 20 friends with him.
No.
Yeah. And I scanned very quickly and noted they all had weapons. Every last one of them. Crowbars, baseball bats, bicycle chains. Now, I'm not new to street altercations. I have no problem getting into fights, but even I know we're fucked.
So it's just you and Carl.
There's me and Carl and 20 some odd guys, right?
Okay.
All with weapons. So I'm shitting my pants because I know I'm about to get hurt bad, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I notice these guys are starting to spread out. So they're covering the end of the alley. This behind me is a building. That's the only way out, and they're just kind of spanning across it. So we have nowhere to go, right? Okay. And they start kind of circling us. And I remember I had a moment where I looked over at Carl, and he looked oddly relaxed, very relaxed, way too relaxed for the situation. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is Carl up to, but he's just way too calm right now, right? So they're threatening, they're yelling, they're catcalling us, and all of a sudden it gets kind of eerie quiet, and I hear Carl, he's right beside me, and I hear him, he looks directly at the guy in front of him and says, listen, he goes, 20 of you, 2 of us, we're gonna get fucked up tonight, but here's the thing, one of you has to come first. And whoever that is, I'm gonna kill him. Yeah. He's not going to the hospital, he's going to a cemetery. So boys, who's it gonna be?
Wow. I
got chills because it was that terrifying. Like Carl's a 6'2", 240-pound muscular guy, looks every bit the biker.
Right.
It was the ice cold of his voice scared the crap out of me, and he wasn't talking to me.
Yeah.
All I know is that within the next 40 some odd seconds, every one of the 20 guys just walked slowly down the alley. Not a punch was thrown, not a kick was thrown, nothing happened physical that night. And as the last guy disappears down the alley, Carl calmly looks at me and says, you want to go get something to eat?
How powerful is that though?
Yeah.
The power of words.
Yeah. And the way you use them.
The way you use them and his calm demeanor.
It was icy calm. And that to me, aside from the way he looked, that was the factor. There's not one of those 20 guys who did not think that everything he said was exactly what was going to happen.
How much
of
that
got scared.
It's just energy, man.
It's energy. Yeah.
But that's like that's a real lesson right there.
It's a huge lesson.
It's like the way you approach things. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Control your energy, control the tonality of your voice.
Yeah.
However it needs to apply, your ability to control your energy and even the tonality of your voice has the ability to take a situation where the odds are unbearably stacked against you and turn it into a win.
Yeah.
I learned more that night than any course I've ever taken. It doesn't mean I know how to do it the way he did it that night, but I learned the importance of energy.
I love that. And I feel like that's why you and I connected so much, is because, our mindset was aligned and our energy was aligned.
Energetically just in the same place.
You know what I'm saying? So
everybody has an energy profile.
Yeah.
Have you ever met somebody and said like, I don't like this dude, I don't know why?
Yeah.
Or I love this guy, I have no idea why.
That's
like our lizard brain just kind of giving us a profile of what it's experiencing from your energy.
I'm telling you, Brian, I've turned down tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money. You know, for me, I'm 23. I'm a
huge
young guy.
amount of money. Yeah.
I've turned down tens of thousands of dollars because the energy has felt off.
Yeah.
And the reason I did that is because, you know, my dad taught me that.
Yeah.
You know, if the energy is off, then something's going to happen.
Yep.
That however many thousands of dollars, millions of dollars even, is going to bite you in the ass.
Absolutely.
You know, if you don't think about the long term.
No doubt.
And the energy was off. And sure enough, actually, it was a funny story. Like this, I'm not going to give too much detail, but this person, energy was off.
Yeah.
Called someone that they previously worked with. Guess what? She, you know, screwed them over out of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So
it's like you innately knew.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to listen to your gut, I feel like, a lot of times. And when I talked to you, I knew that, you know, in my gut, this was perfect. And I love what you're doing, man. I can't wait to share it to the world.
I appreciate it.
So
thank you, brother.
Thanks for coming on my podcast.
Thanks for drinking my drink.
Yeah, it's so good, by the way. Cheers.
Cheers,
Thank
brother.
you. Appreciate it.
Cheers, man.